Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Oakfield Farm, where today we are going to do a few different things. Some stuff that I've not done in a long time, some stuff that I've done fairly recently. First job for today is bringing food over to the pigs. Which might seem a bit odd that I got pig food in a trailer, but I do have the pig food star. We'll get to that in a minute. Because that needs to be refilled so that I can get going on that. So our first job for the day is feeding the pigs. Second job for the day is going to be preparing more food for the pigs. And then the third job is going to be ooh, I need to check because the third job is going to depend on something. I need to check oh, field 31 needs fertilizing. I was going to so does 13. I think 13's harvested. Yeah, 13's harvested. So the third job of today is going to be... I'm trying to decide if I want to change my plans or not right now. A minute into the video, so I'm already completely lost. Yeah, third job of today is going to be spraying field 31. I've decided. So I can move the other plan I had for today over to... What day is today's video? Wednesday, Friday. And that'll be just fine. I want to apologize for not streaming Monday. I woke up late and decided that recording would probably be a better idea than streaming with the time that I had. Although looking at the time now, I could have probably got a stream out because it's 5 minutes to 6 in the evening. But that's fine. I can get Friday's video recorded and Monday's video for next week recorded today as well. Because if you haven't been following along, my sister's on night shifts next week and I need to be a week ahead this week. So let's dump the pig food in. This should, if not fill up the pigs, then get them... Well, they're not full at all. That's them a lot happier though. If you haven't been watching the streams, yes there is a skid steer here, yes there is a skid steer up in the main yard. I have 2 skid steers basically because it's more efficient than one telehandler for both yards. Or even just carting a tractor forwards and backwards between the two. So, next up we need to get potatoes into the trailer. Now, I could use a skid steer for this, believe it or not. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use a wheel loader that I do have with the main yard. That's for silage, because I'm a lunatic. Now, I do have plans to start selling off crops very soon and keeping... probably like 50,000 litres of wheat aside to make pig food. Because the pig food star can take wheat or barley. Do I have barley in storage? Oh, I've got 47,000 litres of barley. Well, I can sell off all the wheat then. And what I'm going to do is probably buy a smallish field. So maybe like field 12 is quite large. There's no smallish fields on this dang map. Maybe field 42, which granted it's still reasonably large, but I'll plant that in wheat or barley. I think wheat's probably better to throw into the pig food mixer, or the pig food star, because it is worth less. It's not worthless, but it's worth less. And the reason I'm using Pig Food Star, and the reason actually that it's over in this yard as opposed to over in the placeable yard by the pigs, is because I don't want it to be particularly easy to feed the pigs. You know, I want to punish myself a bit for having the convenience machine. Now granted, it does take water a grain, and it should take whole grain, but I've edited it. And potatoes. It can also take sugar beets if I so wish, and I'll be honest, the temptation is there. Completely missed the turn off because I've got my potatoes stored up in a field. I really shouldn't. And I should move them into a shed somewhere, but I can't figure out where. There's the second steer, by the way. It's just been sorting out the cows, which need cleaning out again. Of course the cows need cleaning out again. Why would the cows not need cleaning out again? As my phone goes off, because I think Sim's been messaging me. Yes, he has been sending stuff on Facebook. What's he sent this time? What the crap? Simulate is a bit weird. For those of you that are subscribed to him, he is weird. I guess for those of you that don't already know, he is a bizarre individual. He's just sent me and Landy a picture of a video about bacon. I'm not entirely sure why he sent this picture about bacon, but he has. I forgot that without MR this thing has a 6,000 litre capacity. Oh, that's really convenient. Yeah, one thing that I do like about MR, as much as I'm going to complain about the hill thing, which I went through the support topic for MR and the discussion topic, and it's still not been addressed. Dural's refusing to address it. But one thing that I do like is that it does make the buckets a bit more realistic, as the mod is supposed to. And, well, and trailers for that matter. So that's 14,000 litres in that trailer. That should be good. I know that I turned off the wheel loader. I know that I'm using keyboard and mouse right now. You'll have to deal with this for a second while I just get this spun around. Because it is a bit of a pain to get the wheel onto full lock as much as is necessary to do a 3-point turn. And if there's a convenience thing available, then I'm going to use the convenience thing. So this should take, I think 2 or 3 trailer loads of potatoes. And then I'll attach the large trailer and just throw as much wheat as I can fit in there. Which is worth more, wheat or barley? Barley is worth more. Although wheat has 2 places where it's a better price currently. Barley by and large is worth more, so it's not a good idea to throw barley into the pig food mixer. So it is a better idea to just... Is it, I wonder, the best idea to just stockpile all the wheat? And just have that as kind of a thing. Like, not sell any wheat at all and just keep it to fill the pig food star. Because, I mean, that's a thing I could do. So you can see I have filled it up with water. This... Oh, the trigger is pretty much where the bloomin' trailer is, I think. Oh, wait, no, maybe. I can get this into the... Where's the potato trigger gone? Oh, it's out here. So, oh, 14,000 litres is... Ah. Okay. So it can't quite take 14,000 litres of potatoes. That's good to know. So now I gotta go up to the potato dump and dump potatoes. Kinda wish I could use silage silos as a potato storage, but I guess I could if I took the triggers off. What I do plan on doing is using that shed there, but it's currently got bales in. I've completely missed the turn off I wanted to take, so let's take the slightly longer route. So the shed that I'm currently using to just hold bales is gonna hold the potatoes in the future, and the bales are just gonna be out over there. You can see there's straw bales over there. I'm gonna put hay bales and stuff over there as well. In time, if I can fit a smallish shed. Actually, can I want to try this right now. Placeables. Let's get a reasonable size shed. The small storage shelter is surprisingly large. That'll do. Will this fit anywhere in here? I mean, I could put it there like that, but then it almost entirely blocks off the entrance. Can I fit it in here at all? Now, I could get rid of one of the... I could get rid of one of the greenhouses. I think that's probably the best idea, is just to get rid of this greenhouse and put in the small storage shelter in place of it right here like that. So now I'll have somewhere to... I could potentially just put the potatoes in there, actually. I'll make a decision on that during a stream, most likely. And comically, we made a profit on that decision. I could just store the potatoes in there. Is it worth storing the potatoes in there is the real question. I don't know. But the next job is going to be... if I don't get stuck. The next job is going to be... dealing with... why is that weight not affected by the FPS script? Which, by the way, comically seems to cause FPS issues. There seems to be some sort of weird little bug with it where it's causing FPS issues. The creator is aware of it, by the way, and it is being addressed. I'm not going to use the Joskin trailer for this, now that I know that 14,000 potatoes... 14,000 litres of potatoes is a bit too much. I'm gonna just scoot the trailer into this shed. I've turned a bit. Oh, it's... I've made a horrible mistake. So if I were to... straighten this out like this, and get it so that when I drive straight in, it'll turn. Actually, might be worth just storing it over there, but now that I've got it ready to go into the shed, I might as well get it into the shed. Don't plan on doing hay for a little bit, and even if I do, I can just move it again. Actually, there should be enough room. Yeah, there's going to be enough room for me to get the windrower out. Because I can just use the other door to this shed. That's gonna be fine. Now for a 73-point turn, just to get out of the shed again. And I've Austin Powers the tractor. There we go. I actually... I got the tractor jammed in the door of the shed. That is truly wondrous. In any case, let's get this trailer full of wheat, and that'll be the pig food mixer ready to go. And I think, from memory, it takes 10,000 litres of wheat, so that's going to be a bit more than it'll take. I think. So, what I'm going to do in Friday's video, as a bit of, I guess, warning to those of you who hate this stuff, and a joyous announcement for those of you that like it, is I'm going to do a bit of forestry. Because this trailer is, I think, really suited to doing a bit of forestry work. I don't know why that texture is white, by the way. Yeah. What I could also do right now is... No, I'm not going to do that right now. So where is the New Holland T6? Because I'd like to do the spraying with the T6. The T6 is there. And what I'll do is I'll just back this up. Put the front loader down. Drop off the weight. And luckily, I know exactly where I left the sprayer. Because if I didn't, I'd be very confused right now. I left it up at the top of the cow yard. Up at the top of the cow field. It's just out of sight currently. There it is. Because I was teleporting something and I couldn't be bothered putting the sprayer away properly. How much fertilizer does this have? 2,300 liters. That might be enough to do the field, but I'm gonna just top it up to be 100% sure. It should, in theory, be enough to do field 31. But there's no harm in giving a bit of a top up and just ensuring that I've got enough. I think this might be the first time in videos that you'll have seen the tram lines in full force and the logic behind them, which I suppose is good. So as you guys know, I have been doing tram lines recently with Proceed, the Proceed mod, which caused a few problems in one of the streams. And the reason I'm using Proceed will become very obvious. The reason that I'm doing tram lines, because it makes it a lot easier to spray. Because the tram lines are there, it gives me somewhere to drive the tractor, gives me something to aim for while I'm driving the tractor, and it means that it just makes my life easier, basically. Now, I know the grass is fully grown here. I'd like to start getting silage together to sell, which there's two ways I could go about it. I could, because I don't have the BGA running yet, I do have the BGA extension mod enabled, which means it costs 240,000 to start that thing up. But what I could do is I could rent the square bale wrapper and make silage square bales and sell them off. Alternatively, what I could do is I could rent, I guess, the round baler wrapper, the combi wrapper, the Kuhn combi baler, which I don't think that's the best idea. I think square bales would be the best way to go forward, because I've got a square baler and it's a lot easier to just do square bales. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Plus, I rarely use the square baler wrapper. Or the square bale wrapper, I should say. Now what I'm going to do over in field 13 is I need to pick up the bales out of that. So that might be your video on Monday, is dealing with the bales in field 13. But I also need to seed it. So I'm going to just direct drill that. It doesn't need to be cultivated, it just needs direct drilling. Well, it could do with being cultivated, it doesn't need to be ploughed. And I've had a few people shout at me for cultivating when I've got a direct seed drill. So I'm going to direct drill field 13, even though in the UK you'd usually plough and you'd usually deal with all that stuff properly. You know, you'd usually, at the very least, cultivate just to break up the sod a bit so the seed goes in better, even with a direct seed drill. So let's get this thing unfolded. You can see, I do love how the tram lines look. Like, I know I've said this so much now, but oh my god, I love the tram lines. And oh no, 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 no. Let's glitch through, that works. But the joy of this is I know exactly when and where to turn to get the fertilizer exactly where it needs to be. And it's going to cause a couple of issues with like trees and whatnot going on, but it's a lot more it looks a lot better than just going around a field that's fully fertilized or that's 100% seeded and there's no tram lines whatsoever, and you're just kind of going because that's the way the game works, or using crop destruction mods and getting it all wrong and creating a mess. It's a lot better to, you know, have good looking tram lines, because then even when you're not in the field, this is the reason that I have the little cultivator patch on the tram lines, they show up. It looks really nice. That's why with Pro Seed I do engage the like rear cultivating thingy. Because it makes the tram lines stand out more on the field, and it looks better, and it looks amazing, and it's pretty. I mean, it makes for some nice thumbnails as well. And on that note, I know that I've been doing this a lot recently, or I know that I have a habit of doing this a lot. I need to rebind IC at some point, because every time I go to use IC, I do that. Alright, every time I go to press the Alt button, it brings up IC because that's what it's currently bound to. What I can do is I can get this a reasonably jaunty angle on a straight line, ideally, Dave. So like this, and then go print screen. And that'll be your thumbnail, most likely. Edited heavily, but it'll be your thumbnail. I should mention how I edit the thumbnails. I basically make them look pretty. I do whatever it takes to make them look pretty. Sometimes I don't touch them at all and just use what I get out of the game. Sometimes I'll brighten them up and change the contrast a bit. Commonly what I'll do is I'll apply an HDR toning in Photoshop and just tweak that until it looks about as realistic as I can get it. I did get praise for Monday's video off literally one person for the thumbnail. And you might notice they've been kind of looking a lot more realistic lately. That's kind of intentional. I like how they look when they're kind of in that form where there's the uncanny valley, I guess. I don't think we'll get this field fully fertilized today. I will finish it off camera if I don't. Or if we don't. But at least we've started. And at least there's going to be something to show on this field for the video. And at least there's a bit of field work getting done. Because I'm sure some of you would have been very annoyed if I did a farm sim video and didn't do any field work. So that's why I've warned you about Friday's video being forestry. I don't know why people get triggered when I do something that's not field work, like, oh, I need to sort the animals, people get annoyed. I need to sort the yard, people get annoyed. Oh, I need to run this piece of equipment up, people, you know, in somewhere other than the field, people get annoyed. I need to sell off crops, people get annoyed. Why? I mean, it's... farming isn't always field work. I know that some of you do drive tractors in real life and do farm in real life, and all you ever do is field work, but that's not all the work that goes on a farm, and I know it. Seriously though, this these tram lines, I love them. They are so much better than just the way the game works by default. Giants should... In fact, that's something I'd love to see Giants do, is include something like Proceed in FS19, where you can have good-looking tram lines without the very questionable and very dodgy crop destruction mechanics. Because I always find the crop destruction, no matter how it's done, whether it's by Giants or by a modder, is always just wrong. It just doesn't work as it maybe should. And well, yes, that's personal preference, and everybody's going to be different about it. I think tram lines would be something the Giants should add, because there's so much they could do with it. I've just realised that now without MR I might actually be using more spray on this field than I would with MR, because I'm going a lot slower. It's something I didn't really think about. Yeah, it's something I didn't think about at all. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this might not be ideal. I might need to refill the sprayer halfway through this field. I really should have thought this through, shouldn't I? Yeah. I mean, 12 k's is probably a realistic speed for spraying, but oh my god, is this going to take a while. And this is, I think, the widest sprayer I can get. I've decided, by the way, that I am going to eventually get a 9-meter seeder, because I did some number crunching and some maths, and I realized that, hey, I could use a 9-meter seeder on this map, and then people wouldn't be able to complain about me using the Xerion for seeding, because 36 divides into 9, doesn't it? Oh, why does that that tram line stops short because I underestimated how much I'd need for a headland. That's a first. Usually they stop long. I think that might be the... Yeah, that's an example of where I accidentally got it absolutely perfect with the Proceed mod. That corner. Now the joy of this is what I can do is I can just skip along here up to the top of the field, I guess. Or the far side of the field from where I am now. And I can... I've just realised I don't need the sprayer on. I can start doing the main tram lines. Okay, let's raise the spray bar, because that was hitting things. Now this first one might seem a bit pointless, as autosave mod kicks. This first one might seem a bit pointless, but it's necessary to do it to get the second one right. Because otherwise there'd be a bit that was missed. So let's just get that done there, like that. Turn into the headland again. This, by the way, is why British and Irish farms do headlands, is because it's a lot easier to... that's why I think anybody with an odd-shaped field should do a headland, because it's a lot easier to work off headlands than it is to just go, well, this looks straight enough, let's just have everything be straight always. Because not all fields are straight. You know, you're not always going to find a straight line in a field. It's a lot easier to use GPS or something, or a reference point, which I watched a few planning videos and like they say, oh, you should just have a reference point like a tree on the far side of the field. But what if you're in the middle of a... Well, I guess every field will have a tree nearby. I was gonna come up with a reason that you shouldn't use a tree, but no, I can't actually think one up. And here's why I use Proseed. You'll spot that on the right hand side there is no overspray. If there is, there's very little. There shouldn't be any, at least. And now I realise that I'm overspraying 90% of the spray bar, but that's the way that the cookie crumbles when you got an odd-shaped field. I know there is a script that I could use on a per sprayer basis to get it all to work and turn off segments of the spray bar as and when I want to, but that's kind of pointless. Did I set this at 30 meters instead of 36? That seems like an awful lot of overspray for a 36 meter tram line. Something's a bit screwy and I'm not sure what. It may be that GPS is a bit screwy, which wouldn't surprise me all that much actually. But just looking at the time now, we have run out, I'm afraid. I'll get this field finished off camera. Probably before like Monday's video. Or after I record Monday's video. So you might see this field in the background, a couple of videos being like half fertilized. And if you do, just ignore it, because I'm trying to get as much recording done today as I can, and it kind of means that jobs that I sailed off camera will be done after I record entirely. So I'll leave you guys by saying I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Oakfield Farm. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.